And good morning. Somehow or another, we've made it to Tuesday. It's a fast one, October the 3rd, and today is the day that we've been talking about for quite some time. Polls will be opening up from 30 minutes from now at local schools in Lauderdale County on the CTE building. Go vote, whether it's a yay or a nay. Let your voice be heard. Again, it will be confusion early. There's no doubt about it at schools as kids are being dropped off during that 7 to 8 a.m. hour. After that, things should lighten up, depend upon how and when you want to go vote. But there will be a little confusion there with a lot of cars and things in the early hours of this. And then again after 3 o'clock. Polls stay open till 7 p.m. We're going to go over where the voting polls are during the morning show. Make sure everybody understands it. It's 4 voting polls in the schools. We'll tell you which ones, and then if your area, where it goes, just to clear up some clarification on all of that, make sure everybody totally understands. Did you notice it's a little cooler outside? 58 as we're waking up, headed for a high of 89 later today, and be ready. Fall-like weather is around the corner. Saturday's high will be 73, and then on Sunday, 71. So the weekend is going to be a very fallish weekend. I can hardly wait. It'll be the best that we've had so far. Right outside now, as I walked to work this morning, it was a little bit of a nip in the air at 58. It felt good. Hope you'll open up your door. Maybe you have a cup of coffee with that cool feeling that we've got. Enjoy it while we can. All right, let's go to Collinsville now, to the First Baptist Church, and get a good word.
Thinking of college sports, coaches seek out, scout, evaluate, recruit, and then they sign the players they want. If they don't want you, you won't hear from them. They're in essence gatekeepers of their teams. But having this idea in the church can be dangerous. The Gentiles in the time of Paul's ministry had great disdain for the Jews, and understandably so. They faced ridicule and persecution at their hands. Paul, though, was quick to remind the Gentiles of the grace they had received in part because of the Jews' disobedience that brought Christ. There was a time before Christ when the Gentile people had been disobedient to the Old Covenant, and now the Jews were disobedient to the New Covenant. See, the question here is whether we view God's grace based on our merit and our goodness, or do we truly see it as grace given by God to unworthy sinners? See, realize God's grace for you and all people today. Spread that good news out, and remember that Christ beckons those who are far from Him to come home. Remember that change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. I have to admit, I was telling Odie I got distracted there while JJ was talking by the plaque on the wall behind him. I don't know if anybody noticed that or not. It said, pay attention to the little things in life, for someday they will be the big things. There's a lot of truth to that. Y'all pay attention. Those little things that seem minor today, as you grow older in life, really do become the most important things. That job and that hustle and bustle of some report that is due today will mean nothing 20 years from now. Many, many people can tell you that. It's hard to believe it sometimes when you're in the middle or amongst things, isn't it? But that is truly the truth of what becomes and what happens later in life. Good morning from Indiantown, Florida. Don, how are you doing this morning? So glad to see you there. Miss Mary Rigdon joining us. Glad to see you. Mike Dallas up. James Nichols, Scuba, Mississippi. Glad to see y'all. Lee Ware, good morning. Also see you. Terry is up. Miss Barbara Smith. Hope everybody is having a wonderful day. As we start looking around at things that are shaping America this morning, the little girl that was kidnapped, have y'all heard about this? She has been found. It was fingerprints that was on the ransom note, and she was found in a cabinet in a motorhome, in a camper. Thank heavens for small things. I'm glad that the police moved in on that. They were able to identify who did it. It's a miracle. Normally, y'all know that doesn't turn out so well. You know, she's got to be scared. At least she's back home. She wasn't gone from her parents, but about 15 minutes. Things can happen that quick in life. As we start to see things that are going on. Philadelphia, PA, things are out of control. And I know they're everywhere, but we're not just picking on Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But road rage and crime and things have just, well, they're skyrocketing there. As we see road rage, it was a mom where a guy jumped off his motorcycle, beat the back glass out of the mother's car with her children inside. There's really no police to call, is it? They have so few. It gets worse and worse in these large cities as we see every day. Those who called, and I'm not saying this guy did particularly, I'd have to look up his voting record, but overall the Democrats did vote largely to defund the police. As we go to Washington, D.C., a Texas Democrat had his carjacked. D.C. is one of those cities, if you'll remember, that was defund the police, defund the police. Well, you did, and they're nowhere to be found now. As we go to Portland this morning, no, it doesn't shock me. I guess it shocks me that it's in paper as we look at this, as the Public Safety Commissioner in Portland, Oregon, warns people not to call 911 unless you risk death. They don't have enough cops. They don't have enough 911 operators. So that tells me you're pretty much free to do what you want in Portland, Oregon. Is that what that sounds like? Yeah. And I'm not picking on things. These are just the facts of what is happening to America. And if you don't think that can't spread to rural America, you're wrong. It starts in these larger cities, and then the criminals expand out. These small forces can't handle that. What's going to straighten it out? We need a hero, don't we? Someone that can lead the nation and put it back on track. Law and order. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Is what we need. Is there such a person? There is. Will America vote for that? I'm not sure. We'll see. It'll all happen again coming up in a couple of years of who will be in charge. It's all what is set forth out of Washington. That's what will happen. I don't know what the cure is to bring police back and bring respect back to our officers. As a kid, no one would ever have talked back to an officer. Do y'all remember that? Now they spit and do all kinds of nasty things to police officers. It is a lack of respect, and it all begins in the home. Without the home and family, our nation is falling apart. Tupac Shakur, did I say that right? Tupac Shakur. If you remember, he was murdered, was it 1996? Yeah, the shooting there. As they have made an arrest on this, the guy that was with him when he was murdered says he's not going to testify against the guy that they've arrested. I don't know what that tells us. Is he...
Well, this guy's already claimed it, wrote it in the book that he was there.
Yeah, he does say that. This guy's not going to do it, and somebody else says that, well, they got the wrong guy. It's always someone to throw a loop into it. But this guy says he will not testify in this. He was there when he was shot. He will not testify. Will that affect the trial? I don't know. I guess they have other evidence as well. And again, I don't pick on one side or the other. If a Republican does wrong, I tell it. If a Democrat does wrong, I tell it. We go back to this, and I probably should have had this in order before I started all this morning. We got a little behind. But as we go to Minneapolis, again, another city that defunded the police, and at some point they start putting in district attorneys that don't think that people that do wrong should be arrested. As we see the headlines this morning, sparking fury in Minneapolis this morning as they are giving probation to murderers, pedophiles, and killer drug dealers. I'm not making this up. Truly facts that are happening across America. Again, back to what I said a minute ago. We do need a leader. It starts with a little guy. Oh, he's not little. Let me back up on how I said that. He's tall, he's big, he's a great man called Jesus Christ. If you don't have that, you can't fix anything. Hopefully with prayer, he will lead our nation to the right man to lead us out of where we are. Or is it the end of time? That's often a subject of, has it reached us? I've heard that since I was little. I see the ends of times, and boy, I'm sure that other generations have thought that too. There's no doubt that others have thought that. But boy, we are in a pickle now, aren't we? That's the way I see it this morning as we look across America. Interpret how you want, vote how you want. but make sure you do that one way or the other. We'll be right back as we get into your weather and lots of other stories this morning to start off your day.
Need an expert to repair a rock peck or cracked windshield? Call Advanced Auto Glass by Joey for quality workmanship and customer service. Convenient same-day service, as well as in-house calibration for vehicle safety systems. Reliable mobile service is available in Clark, Kemper, Neshoba, Lauderdale, and Newton counties for all cars, trucks, and heavy equipment. Book your appointment today for custom tinting. It can reduce temps, fading, glare, and more. Improve the safety and enhance the appearance of your vehicle today with services from Advanced Auto Glass by Joey.
And welcome back. As we glance at radar this morning, we pulled this up for everybody to take a look here. We do have some fog showing up in Chattanooga. What is it, Knoxville, Tennessee? A little bit there around Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and as we get into the Carolinas, even thicker fog. Look at all of this as we get up in Charleston. Look at that. That's thick. If you've ever dropped off that bridge from Columbus, Ohio, headed in this direction, boy, tough stuff there. So be careful if you're in those parts of the world. A lot of truck drivers watch us as they travel across America. Be cautious there. Let's get into our forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we said, couldn't be better right now. We're celebrating 58 degrees outside as we go back for 102 set back in 1936 back in 84. As we glance across this is what we've got today, 89 to 90 for Meridian. The National Weather Service calling for 90. We're sitting at 89 now. As we go north to Columbus, it's 89 degrees. As we go west back over toward the Mississippi Delta, we're looking at 94 in Yazoo in those areas. Even down around Brookhaven, we're sitting at 93. As we go to Bamaland, here we are, 87 in Demopolis. We'll see 89 in Tuscaloosa today. Birmingham, about 85, a little cooler as well. As we glance across this, again, don't burn. As we saw that yesterday, Neshoba County has added a burn ban, and then a few hours later had a wildfire. Don't burn. It's just not worth it. It's elevated right now all the way to the west of us, starting there in Newton County, all the way back to Jackson and southward. Even Jasper County is elevated. We're at a limited threat here in the rest of East Mississippi, so be careful. Wait, don't burn. It will rain eventually and get rid of all this. As we glance across the forecast, 6 to 10 day outlook, we see that we've got cooler weather, and that's just what we've got in store as we look at the forecast. 89 today, 87 on Wednesday. By Thursday, still holding steady at 87. By Friday, we see a couple of degrees cooler. Then by Saturday, we wake up to 73 for a high. Look at those lows on Saturday night. Burr, 47. Yeah, by Sunday, only a high of 71 with a low again back into the 40s. It's been a year since we saw that, hasn't it? It's been a while. So it's going to feel good. Everybody's going to have a smile on their face come Sunday morning, I believe. As we go all the way through October the 17th, again, our largest chance of rain. Oh, boy, what a day to have it on. Friday the 13th will be our biggest rain chance at almost 50%. Y'all be ready. What does that mean? No rain, Rex, Friday the 13th. I think we'll stay home that day. 34% chance on the 14th, and the next day there are a few showers still lingering. Then we're back to sunshine with highs still well in the 70s. Not bad at all. Slight chances of rain after that as deer hunters pray for rain. Y'all hang on there. It ain't coming yet. As we look at Tropical Storm Philippi, however you want to say his name. Let's call him Phil. I can say that pretty well. Old Phil is still out there, moving along at 52 miles an hour, 1,001 millibars. Nothing serious, nothing to worry about at this point as we wait for November the 1st for all of this to end. Then it'll get worse. We'll get into tornado season. Yeah, we sure will. Best times to fish today, it looks like it's going to be a perfect time to hit it at 12 o'clock today. That's going to be your minor. By your next major time will be late this afternoon, about 4:30. Get there about 4:15. Be prepared, and you can fish until almost dark. 6:30. The days are getting shorter, and y'all know that. The wind's going to be light east-northeast wind, becoming east-southeast 5 to 10. So what does that leave us on the deer hunting side? What is the best time? Here we go. Your first major time was right at daylight. So scratch that. It's not going to do you any good. Your second major time will be this afternoon about 3:40, right before 4 o'clock through about 5:30. So kind of a perfect time to go get in a tree. Good luck to you with there. Again, the next major time will be there way after dark. Good luck to all our deer hunters there. Brought to you by Collinsville Meats. If you need to get your meat done, they'll take care of you there. That's a quick outlook at what we've got this morning. We'll be right back to tell you more about what's going on this morning. That's a brief look at weather as we get this day started. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. One of the great folks that we've got around is Grayson Optical. Have you visited Donnie before? There's nothing quite like having somebody that knows you and knows what you need. Well, that's what they do at Grayson Optical. They can fit you the exact pair of glasses that you need. A lot of times you get this in no time flat. If you've got a screw or something missing, when's the last time you set on your glasses and you need a pair quick? Well, that's what Donnie's there for you. They'll fix you up. Bring your prescription in. They'll get you fitted up. If you're a first-time buyer, they'll walk you through this, explain it. It's simple. If you're a long-time customer, we already know what I'm talking about. Great folks. Fix you up with some reading glasses. Maybe you need what do you call those triple focus lens?
Trifold.
Trifolds, yeah. I misspoke that, didn't I?
I'm only going to get
He knows what it is. That's what's important there. Any frame that you might want, including your sunglasses, you can get those fixed up with your prescription where you don't have to change a lot. See them today. It's Grayson Optical. You'll find them there on 24th Avenue, 2021, or call them at 693-6374. That's the number to call to get you taken care of. We got this day going again. A big thing today is voting. We've got a couple of folks coming in to talk about that. Also, we're going to find out what's going on at the fire departments. I think we've got a fundraiser going on. Keith's in the house. He'll tell us here in just a moment of what's going to be happening. Whew. So make sure to be a part of this. And an arrest has been made in Meridian. We'll tell you about that. Second-degree murder charge has been listed. We had some arguing amongst some folks down in Clark County last night. Have mercy.
the Barriott got full.
The Barriott is full this morning. Don't be messing up. They'll squeeze you in there somewhere. Mercy, it is great football weather, Terry says. You're right. 73-degree weather, it won't be bad sitting in those bleachers. Before long, you'll start seeing those, what do you call those outfits they sold for years on TV? Did you ever have one, Odie? And you know, the blanket-looking thing. Snuggie. That Snuggie.
Yeah, I never did get it.
Yeah, I didn't own a Snuggie, but I think it was every other American in the world had one. Whoever invented that made millions. They
They're sitting
truly
on the
did.
beach somewhere with a drink with a number.
He says they're at the beach this morning without a Snuggie. They're grinning ear to ear. Thank y'all so much for being a part of this. We'll be back live in just about 5 minutes from now as we'll get the morning show underway with the latest headlines of what's going in the area, what affects you, what matters to your family. That's what we do here. We'll have it all for you beginning at 7 with the Scotty Ray Report. Scotty Ray and Odie on the way.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.